In this video, we will perform some basic analysis. We will try to find answers to some common business questions. Like, for example, one of the questions could be, what are the uh, total revenues across all product categories? So to answer this question, let's put in a node here, which is the row aggregator node. So here we have the row aggregator. Let's configure this node. Now, since we want total sales revenue across product categories, I'm going to select the product category as the category column. And then since I want the totals, I'm going to make sure that sum is selected. And since I'm interested only in the sales revenue, I will remove the store efficiency column and just include the sales revenue column. And then I'm going to click OK. And when I execute this node, I can see that the results will show for each of those three product categories, clothing, electronics, and furniture, my total sales revenue. So this is one way of looking at a single categorical variable and trying to look for the different values like averages and totals for that particular variable as it is grouped across the entire data. Let's do one more here. Let's say I want to look at the average store efficiency across my regions. So I will include store efficiency. My category column is now region, and I'm going to look at the average. And when I execute this node, here are the results. We can see that the average stores efficiency in the north region is 73.7, and west is slightly less, which is at 70.8. So we could conclude that the stores in the northern region are slightly more efficient as compared to the stores in the western region. So the row aggregator node is a useful node when we need to find answers to such simple questions, which usually relate to one categorical column. Now, our questions may extend beyond one categorical column. In that particular case, we could insert another node, which is the crosstab. Let's insert the crosstab node and let's configure this node. So crosstab has a fairly simple setup. We have a row variable and we have a column variable, and then there is a weight column. Since we are not using any weights, I will select none for that. So row stores, categories, and let's just click OK and see what happens. So crosstab, as you can see, gives me frequencies for the combinations of stores and categories. For example, if there is a question that how many online electronics stores are there, so the answer is there are 5. How many furniture supermarkets are there? So there are 2. Likewise, how many online stores sell furniture? The answer is 2. So for simple questions like this, which involve frequencies, it's useful to build crosstabs, which will group those variables across 2 categorical variables, and then you can get your answers. The crosstab results gives you some more additional information as well, but we will not be going into that. We will primarily be interested in the frequencies of different combinations of categorical variables. One more way to look at your data is to build pivot tables. So let's add in a new node, which is the pivot. And let's configure this node. Okay, now you see we have a few tabs here. There's a groups tab, and there's a pivots tab, and then there is an aggregation tab. Let's follow them one by one. So groups. I want to group my data according to regions. So I will bring regions here. Then let's go into the pivots tab. In pivots tab, I am going to have different categories. So I bring categories in the pivot column, and then in the manual aggregation column, I will have sales revenue. And for sales revenue, I do not want the mean, but I want the total sales revenue sum. And when I click OK and execute the node, I will have the results. So here are my results. You can see for both regions, North and West, I have the total sales revenue for my product categories of clothing, electronics, and furniture. So this analysis is useful to answer questions like what was the total electronics sales in the Western region? So the answer is 9219.9. Of course, the unit here is thousands of dollars. Similarly, we could change the groups and pivots. Let's change the groups to the types of stores now, and let's change the pivots to not product categories but regions. And this time again, let's look at the sales revenue. And when we execute this node, we will have our results. So this time we have online stores and supermarkets, which are the two types of stores. And then we have regions, North and West. So one of the questions could be which region is not performing well in terms of online sales. So you could say that the North region has lower sales as compared to the West region. And likewise in supermarkets, your North region is leading over there. In supermarkets, your Western region has lower sales. So again, in order to answer questions like these, you could take a look at the crosstab analysis. Let's do one more crosstab analysis, and this time let's involve the store efficiency, and we will be looking at the mean or the average store efficiency. And let's just click OK. And here we have the different store efficiencies. So which store type is the most efficient and where? So we can see that the supermarkets are the most efficient store types in the North region. Likewise, which one is the least efficient? And remember, these are the averages. So you could say that in the West region, online stores are the least efficient. So in this video, we looked at three different ways of exploring our data in terms of categorical variables. The first was a row aggregator, where we were aggregating rows across a category that we selected. In crosstabs, we were doing the same thing. We were selecting rows and columns, and then we were looking at the different frequencies of occurrence of combinations of those rows and columns. And in pivot, we selected a pivot column and a group column, and then we were looking at numeric aggregations in terms of totals or averages for the numeric variable that we were interested in. So this is a simple and useful way of performing some basic exploratory analysis for the data that we have for our project.